Right, hello my darlings, back with the Great Ugly, and I've been following along with Rachel Bella's 100 Days of Junk Journaling Ideas. And this idea was posted Tuesday this week by I think it's Melanie at the Treasured page. I'll get all the links put down below to her video and her channel. This was the example I made along with her. This is using paper from Rachel's Love Letters kits, but it's a very thin, it feels like old parchment, like an old envelope, and it's just printed on tracing paper. And I sort of had to hold my breath to think, right, is my printer going to eat this? But honestly, it printed fine. I've got a couple of smudges where I had a mishap before. There must have been ink on the rollers, but it's just added to the aged technique of this. So I've come on, I definitely want to get some of these ideas into my Great Ugly and have a play. So I've just jumped back on tonight to play. Let's see if I can get this folded back up. Come on, fingers. And there you go, that just pops inside. Because it's tracing paper, it's not behaving quite like normal paper. And it's, as you can tell from the sound, it's got that lovely, but it's so thin and lightweight. There's no bulk to it at all. So, in the Great Ugly, I'll show you what's underneath now in a moment. In the Great Ugly, all I've done is on this page, I've just stuck down some old book page. I think it'll hold up. It's very, very old. This is from, hold on, I'll grab it. I had a boys and girls book for 1938. And the paper in here is very thick and buttery. It's got a lovely feel to it. So I've just cut a piece of that old book page and stuck it in there. So I've got a tuck there, and I've got one there, and I'm hoping to get a stack of letters to go in there. That's going in Penelope. Put that away. Pop the Great Ugly away a minute. So here I've got a bit of a selection here. That's from Jez over at Now Jez Creates. That was her ledger papers that she put up. I've got that one printed on tracing paper, and that one from Margaret over at Sun Plaza. That was her calligraphy kit. That is from Rachel Bella's. That's the same ones I just showed you, printed on tracing paper, but backed with pianola roll paper. So it's very thin, very, very thin. This was Jez's from Now Jez Creates. This piece is in her nursing kit papers. So I printed that one and backed that one on the pianola. That is from Rachel's, and I've just backed that onto Amazon packing paper. So put these away in a minute. I have a different idea for those. Well, that one and that one and that one. And I'm not sure about that one. I was going to make the pocket out of that, but I changed my mind. So put this one away a minute. And those are just going to get folded like that original envelope. So anything can be tucked inside. So I want to go up just a bit and overlapping just a bit. And I think I prefer that side showing. Yes. Yes. And then in there. And overlapping just a bit. Just enough to tuck. Go and give it a bit of a crease. Line it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. So there. And now when that's opened up, that gets tucked together. But you could hide all sorts in there. Bits of ribbon, fussy cuts, and let's see if I can grab something to show. I got anything in here? So, a bit of fussy cut, that's a little bit too big. So you could add little fussy cuts. You could add a piece of folded up ribbon, maybe a little smaller than that. A little piece of fabric. But that could easily be tucked into that little parcel, and it's taken up very little space. So, yeah, that's, before they go in the Great Ugly, I might hide something in there. So just tuck that in. Into the opening. And happy days, I got a little parcel then. There's one. And do the next one up and down. Maybe even just slightly different sizes. And in. I want to crease there. There we go. But again, I think even if you crumpled it up, fold it, open it, crumple it up, it would even give it that much more aged appearance. Shall we try that actually? Yes. Shall I? Yes. Try this one. So open it up. Give it a scrunch. Spread it back out. And fold it back. It's got that sort of well-loved feel to it. And tuck that in. So yeah, it's got that sort of well-worn look to it then. Like a stack of letters. Now this one, I'm going to fold in the exact same way, but of course it's going to have a writing surface on the back. So I'm going to follow the actual envelope lines on that design, or try to anyway. So that's going to be, I don't know how that pianola paper is going to take to be folded like that, but we'll see. Yeah, it's alright. And this has just been put down with glue stick. So on that top, I can only really see the pianola paper, to be honest. Oh, let's go for it. And crease. Yeah, that's sort of naturally folded on that line where the dots are on the paper. But the tracing paper is quite strong, stronger than I imagined it to be. I'm going to try to hit that crease and that crease there. So, here we go. But when this one is open, then it's got the writing surface on the other side. Or on the inside, sorry. There we go. And again, I'm just tucking them in. Tuck the long side into the short side. Is it going to tuck? Yes, it will. There we go. So a little stack of 3 letters that can be tied up together in a pretty parcel. Let's do that. And a bit of string. And on that side, give it a twist. Might go in and put some little hidden Easter egg bits in those now. before they finally rest in the Great Ugly. But just for this, I'll go ahead and tie it. There, little parcel of letters, quite thin, not taking up a great deal of space. That can get tucked away into a pocket. Lovely. Now, next, pop that out of the way. These I'm going to do as, I'm not sure, I'm going to fold that up and put it in for now. That one I've already trimmed. And I'm going to do these like letters. So I'm folding them into thirds. And I know you can't see from my angle. I'm just trying to line up the bottom. So I've got roughly thirds. I'm not measuring thirds. And then take that side and just not quite to the end. So I've got a little trifold folio to write on, backed in that pianola paper. And that's all I'm going to do to that one. Well, not all, but I'll show you now. That's all for now. So that just gets folded into thirds. And this one is going to have the same treatment, but it needs to get whacked off. And as you can see, my printer doesn't do borderless. So I've got that sort of white outline. So all mine have to be trimmed anyway. And this Amazon paper, for whatever reason, is slightly thicker than normal Amazon paper. I don't know why. It was definitely out of an Amazon box. I remember that. Because normally, that recycled paper that's used in your parcels is a bit thicker. So, come up on that one a bit. I don't want perfect. I haven't tried tearing this stuff against the ruler yet. So it isn't perfect. There's loads of imperfections on it. But on this brown paper, it's got a brilliant texture to it and feel to it. And it feels strong, if that makes sense. So that one, I'm going to do the same thing. Fold in. Sort of guess on this one. And give it a crease. And, you know, where I've worked with napkins and stuff before, I thought, right, be gentle pressing down with the bone folder. But the tracing paper is much stronger. So that one is going to get... So again, that print was from Jez's Nurse's Kit. This print is from Rachel's Love Letter Kit. Right? So I've got those two. I'm not done yet. With some string. Not sure if I'm going to use that string or that string. One more element to go on these. And I'll be back. 2 ticks. I need to go gather some things together. Right, and I'm back. I've got my wax things out. Got a candle going under the furnace. And this one, I'm going to do gold. So it's just that I haven't rounded corners or anything on these or inked or anything like that because it's just going into my Great Ugly as examples. So that one then, pardon me, these are just trifolds. I've popped a bit of, pardon me, popped a bit of this string on there and looped it around quite a few times. I'm kind of curious now if my wax seal will adhere to the tracing paper or if it'll pop off. But the only way to find out is to do it. So put my little spoon on there. Let's go with gold. So I've chosen a sort of rose for the gold one, and I've got a sort of fleur de lis for that one. And you can also use buttons. If you've got metal buttons or brass buttons, they work well as well. Brass is the key, really. So I'm going to pop 4 gold pellets into that one and give it a second to melt. It doesn't take long. And what I have learned by playing with the wax melts as well is that have an opened up paper clip nearby, very handy, and a bit of toilet roll. And the toilet roll will make sense in a moment. So as that's melting, if you've never played with one of these, if you're in the UK, you can get these little furnaces that come with a spoon and the pots of pellets in the range at the moment. They're not expensive. The stamps tend to be more expensive because they're brass. I have these for Christmas, but I have used, like I said, just a button. Just press a button, or anything that's metal that's going to leave a relief like that, or a pattern. If you want a pattern, or you could just have, you know, a wax puddle as your seal. The paper clip I use, you get to that point, you don't want to overheat the wax pellets. If you overheat them, your seals don't look quite as nice. So you want it just at that melting point. So I'm going to give it a little stir with that paper clip. And nice and runny, but not smoking. If the wax inside the spoon starts to smoke, you won't get a very pretty seal. So give that a minute. And onto that one, I want gold. And get my seal in there. That's puddled all kinds of wonky now. We'll see. I'll be able to let go of it a moment. I realize on camera that you can't see from the angle that you're at. Leave there a minute. And I'm not bothered about that having gold in it. I'm going to pop maybe 2 silvers and 1 gold into there. And I need to spread that string out a little bit. Try that. I don't know what that's going to look like when it comes off, but we'll see. So I leave my stamp on there for a moment. Give this one a second to melt. Where's my paper clip gone? There it is. And yes. Doesn't take long, like I said, just a couple of, not even a full minute for it to melt. So I've just stirred the silver and the gold together, or swirled it together. And as that last pellet melts, within about, well, less than 30 seconds, you'll see it start to smoke. And you don't want it to smoke because the wax burns. That's the right way up. And go for it. I've played with this a lot since Christmas. And I've had lovely ones. I've had wonky ones. Oh, and I don't want it all over my furnace. Get that in there. Give it a smush. I move that out of the way. Set for a second. Now the toilet roll comes in handy because this is how you get the molten wax out of your spoon. Especially if you want to do lots and lots of wax seals for a mass making session, you and want to change colors. Toilet roll does the job. All right, let that get a little bit hot again. you've got a clean, very, very hot spoon to go in. Ow, hot. So leave that there a minute. Actually, blow that out because I'm done for now. That cool off. Let's go back to that first one now. Let's have a look. Is that set? Yes. Pull my rows out. Yeah, it did go a little bit wonky around the thread, but there we go. Sealed. And it's not coming away easily. No, it has bonded in there. Let's have a look at the other one. Yep. Put it away for the reveal. There we go. Lovely fleur-de-lis. Is that going to come away? Thing is, it's still going to be a little bit warm underneath. Right, I'm going to leave that there. Tidy up. So I've got those folios, like old letters, to be tucked away into the Great Ugly. I've got those little parcel letters, lovely and crinkly. So I'm going to need to write my instructions. I don't know if I want to write instructions for this. It's actually fairly self-explanatory. I might write something. Well, yes, I do. I need to write some sort of description and a link to the treasured page where I have the original video. Tuck that away into the letter somewhere and then get them in the Great Ugly. So let me go and do that and tidy up a little bit. And that needs to get folded up and stuck in there as well. So, yes. Give me 2 ticks. Right, I've relit the candle, pop back on it because I've had an idea. So I got a random piece of lace here. That last piece from Jez's journal. So I'm going to put 3 golds back in there. Let that melt a second. Now, I've got brown versions of this and black versions of this, and it's oven liner. It's like Teflon oven liner. You buy it in the discount stores over here to go in your oven. So I'm going to pop that underneath my fold. So I've just tri-folded that piece of tracing paper. Pop that underneath. Put a random bit of fabric there. And I want that fleur-de-lis now. And I just need to get this melted now. So the idea, the thought I had is if, because when I'm doing mass making the wax seals, I use this stuff because nothing sticks to it. So my thoughts are, if I do it on that side, will I have then a wax seal with a flap that's not going to bond with the other side? So let's try it now and see. Come on. Nearly there. Nearly there. There we go. The last little pellet is giving it up. And paper clip away. And make sure my stamp is the right way up. Pour that in there. Is it going to bond with that top part? I keep forgetting I've got different sizes of seals. That was only 3 pellets. Perhaps I could have done with 4. But no, right now I am going to tidy this up now, and I'll pop back on to show this in a moment. Right, and back with the Great Ugly. So before I fill that side, just to recap what's on this side, take that out because that's holding it shut. That's just a junk mail envelope. That's the front of the envelope. So it's been sliced on one side to create that pocket. So one top of the slice is folded down and one is folded up with your window. The back sides had a pocket added to it. On this page, that's got a giant tuck in it, that envelope at the bottom. That's just a single piece of book page. It's a single piece of book page. Fold that bit up, notch a hole, fold the 2 triangles that way, and cover with some more scrappy book page. And I've just stuck an oblong in there as the closure. So that creates a tuck there. That envelope folds in, that's got a tag in it, and then another tag goes in here to keep that from flopping open. So on this side now, before we get to those, this is the test piece that I did. So let's have a look and see. So as you can see, it doesn't stick to that oven liner. Let's get the seal off. There we go. A little floor to this. And that has actually, I can't tell if it's actually bonded or not. But I've got the video for posterity if I forget. I don't think I'm going to put any glue on that. I think I'm going to leave it as it is, as just an inkling of an idea. Because I almost sort of suspect that if I put more pellets in there for a bigger seal, that it would have actually melted the wax paper a bit more. Right, keep that in there. So for these faux envelopes, I'm going to leave that one in there as my example. Pop those into that bottom tuck. Actually, before those go in the bottom tuck, my little letter packet needs to go in here. And all I've done is tracing paper ideas for faux letters and envelopes. Melanie's treasure page, the date, and the hashtag that video, her idea video went up. And that I've note to myself that I've used Rachel's, Margaret's, and Jez's papers in these examples. And that I'm just going to tuck in and amongst the letters. So those letters go in there, to be discovered another time. And those all get tucked in the bottom. And there we go. There is my tracing paper idea page. Lovely. So, right, that's all for me. I hope there was, pardon me again, I hope there was interesting ideas there for you. And thank you ever so much for watching and being patient with me. And I hope you like what you see here. Leave a like, leave a comment. Subscribe, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.